Hey, good morning, options traders. Welcome, everyone. And I received a really good question by email from actually a brand new trader right here in the group asking, how can you tell if your option is American style or European style? Because interestingly, a lot of platforms won't show you this. Some will, but they all show you how many shares it controls or what's called the multiplier. They'll show you the days to expiration, but they don't tell you if it's American or European style. So for this video, let's find out how you can tell and also why it would matter. So when you're trading options, you have to understand there are two types of options. You've got calls and puts. But within there, you have two styles. You have what's called an American style, and you have what's called a European style. The first thing to understand is that these terms have nothing to do with countries or with continents. Too many times new traders say, I'm only trading options here in America, so they're all American style. Not true. We have American and European style here in America, so that's why you have to understand the differences. So what do they mean? Well, an American style option means that it may be exercised at any time. So you could buy a call or a put right now, turn right around and exercise it. But a European style, on the other hand, can only be exercised at expiration. It's also important to understand that you're not confusing closing it. You can close an American style or a European style at any time, but you just can't exercise a European style until expiration. So for these two terms, they're going to fall into two categories. Basically, for your American style, you're going to see stocks, ETFs, exchange-traded funds, ETNs, exchange-traded notes. Those will all be American style. So if you're trading Microsoft and Google and Apple, and those options are always going to be American style. But the European style are going to apply to most indexes. Not all, but to most. So this is why it can also be important to understand if you're trading some of the indexes. So for a notable exception is the OEX, the S&P 100. It's actually an American style option, even though it covers an index. But if you want to trade a European style, you can trade the XEO. That's a European style. Notice that the letters are reversed. That can also be important if you're using vertical spreads, because this poses a particular risk because it is cash settled. But we'll have to save that for a different video. But the main reason we're covering these is to answer the basic question, why is this important? Why would you care whether it's American versus European? Well, again, it may pay to exercise a call option early to capture a dividend. Notice I said may. Too many times traders think that just because a stock is about to pay a dividend, that they are supposed to go out and exercise it. In most cases, it will not be to your advantage to exercise. But the point is that you could. However, one even more important reason for understanding the differences here is that if you're short an option, you'll want to know if you're at risk of being assigned. And notice I've put the word risk in highlights there because it's not always a risk to be assigned early. If you get assigned early on a vertical spread for shares of stock, it's actually a gift. So this is again why you have to understand when it might be a risk and when it might not. But for this video, the main thing we're trying to show is how you can tell if an option is American or European style. So the best way to do that, especially if you're taking a big position or maybe there's an exceptionally big dividend coming up and you're not 100% certain. Brokerage platforms have made mistakes in the past. If you want to know, you go straight to the source, and you should go to the CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange.com. So here's how you can find the specifics on your contract. So you'll just want to open up a browser window, type in cboe.com. So there's a number of ways that you can figure it out. You can actually go through products and look it up that way, but one of the easiest is to click on the magnifying glass and just type in the index or whatever it is you happen to be looking for. I'm going to choose OEX, and right here it says OEX specifications. And so if you click there, here's the S&P 100 index options. And so if you look down below, here is the exercise style. It is American. Now here's the XEO that I spoke about. Click on XEO, And it tells you it's European style right there, but it's also right here. Exercise style is European. So remember, if you're trading shares of stock, you don't have to worry about it. You know that it's an American style option. But if you're trading some of the indexes, you might want to jump over and take a peek at the SIBO to see if it is an American style or a European style. That will always give you the correct answer. And for anyone who'd like to see any of the archived videos, you can find them all on YouTube, on the Facebook trading group Options A to Z, so please subscribe there and you can catch up on past videos.